Welcome to the GSC Core Curriculum Overview. The core is made up of classes you will be required to complete at any University System of Georgia institution, and you will begin completing core your very first semester. I will lead you step by step through GSC's core classes and include some helpful tips along the way. The core curriculum consists of a minimum of 60 college credit hours. The goal of the core is twofold: to create responsible citizens who can adapt to change, think critically, and problem solve, and to ensure that students complete a solid educational base that will transfer smoothly between USG institutions. The GSC Core consists of 6 areas plus 2 physical education classes. Areas A through E are primary core, with Area F consisting of courses related to your major program of study. Area B, also referred to as institutional options, consists of courses more specific to Gainesville State than any other core area. Students who successfully complete Area A through E courses in Gainesville's core curriculum will receive full credit for those courses when transferring to another USG institution, even if the area has not been completed, as long as the student does not change from a non-science major to a science major, and as long as the course is within the area hour limitations of either the transferring or receiving institution. For example, if Gainesville requires 6 credit hours to complete Area C, and the student takes 9 hours in that area, the student may lose those extra hours upon transfer. However, if Gainesville requires 12 hours to complete Area E, and the school the student is transferring to only requires 9 hours, the transfer school must accept and use all 12 hours. These requirements must be fulfilled in order to graduate. The U.S. and Georgia History legislative requirements and the U.S. and Georgia Constitution legislative requirements are mandated by the Georgia State Legislature and must be fulfilled at any USG system institution. The U.S. and Georgia History requirement is satisfied by passing 1 course in Survey of U.S. History or Survey of World Civilization II with a grade of D or better. The U.S. and Georgia Constitution legislative requirement is satisfied by passing an American government course with a grade of D or better. Completion of an elective course called Introduction to State and Local Government with a grade of D or better will satisfy the Georgia Constitution legislative requirement, but not the U.S. Constitution requirement. The Regents Reading and Writing Skills requirements assess a student's ability to read and write on a college level. At GSC, students fulfill this requirement by passing English 1102 with a C or better. Some students may exempt this requirement with advanced placement or international baccalaureate scores from high school. Transfer students may exempt this requirement by having already fulfilled it at another university system institution. Physical education requirements are fulfilled by taking PHED 1020, a basic health education class, plus 1 additional 1-hour activity class in something like basketball, bowling, or skiing. This area consists of 3 total classes. A student must take 2 English classes and 1 math class. Students must pass English 1101 and 1102 with a C or better. Students who are science majors, such as biology majors, or who are pursuing math-based majors, such as engineering or computer science, are required to complete higher-level math courses than students in non-science or non-math-based disciplines. This area consists of 2 classes. Communications 1100 is a mandatory human communications course with a public speaking component. The Area B elective may be chosen from a long list of classes that includes everything from diversity studies to film and culture. Students must take a 2000 level English, film, or foreign language class chosen from an approved list of classes. Minimum grades of C in English 1101 and 1102 are prerequisites for these 2000 level English and film classes, meaning that English 1101 and 1102 must be completed prior to taking a 2000 level class. If a student had 3 years of a foreign language in high school and made A's and B's, or if a student has taken and passed a foreign language class at the 1002 level, the student may be eligible for a 2000 level foreign language class. Students in Area C must also take a fine arts elective, such as a music or art appreciation course. This area consists of at least 2 science lecture classes and 2 science lab classes, plus an additional math, science, or technology class. Whenever a student enrolls in a science class, the student must also enroll in the lab that corresponds to the class. For example, if a student enrolls in Chemistry 1211, the student must also enroll in the Chemistry 1211 lab. Science majors are required to enroll in specific science sequences based on their majors. For example, biology majors must take Biology 1107 with lab, and then Biology 1108 with lab. Non-science majors have more freedom to choose a science sequence and may elect to take 2 different types of sciences in their sequence. For example, a non-science major may choose to take Biology 1101 lecture with lab first semester and then enroll in Environmental Science 1101 lecture with lab the following semester. It is important to note that a student who changes from a science to a non-science major may use his science classes to fulfill Area D, but it doesn't work the opposite way. For instance, if a business major completes Biology 1101 with lab and then changes his major to biology, his Biology 1101 course would no longer be useful because biology majors are required to take the Biology 1107, 1108 sequence. To complete Area D, a student must also choose another math, science, or technology elective from an approved list. This is the area where the legislative requirements we spoke about earlier are fulfilled. Students are required to take Political Science 1101 and 1 of 3 history classes to fulfill the requirement. Also, in Area E, the student must choose an introductory class in anthropology, sociology, or psychology, and an elective from an approved list. Most students find Area F very appealing because it contains classes necessary for completing their majors. Every degree at GSC requires at least 18 hours in Area F. An example of Area F for business would consist of Accounting 1 and 2, a Microeconomics and Macroeconomics class, a Computer Information Systems class, and a Business Communication, the Environment of Business, or Introduction to Business class. It is important to note that students are not allowed to share classes between different areas of the core curriculum. For example, a history major may not use History 2112 to fulfill both an Area E and Area F requirement. The student must choose a different class in one of the areas. This concludes the GSC Core Curriculum overview. For more information on the core, please see the online GSC catalog, the Advising Center website, your faculty advisor, or a professional academic advisor.